Hey everyone, this video is about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. My name is Alex.
And my name is Dylan. So this video contains 8 segments. Enjoy. Guys, we are 9 graders.
And today we are going to explain Howard Gardner's 8 multiple intelligences. In 1983, a Harvard psychologist named Howard Gardner developed the theory of multiple intelligences as outlined in his book, Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences.
Logical mathematical intelligence is an intelligence where a person is good at abstract symbolic thoughts, good at considering hypotheses, carrying out calculations, and quantifying data, and good at using letters and formulas to indicate relationships between factors. This is so easy.
Linguistic intelligence is an intelligence where a person is better than average at understanding subtle differences in meaning. They also tend to pick up new words and languages quicker. People with linguistic intelligence love to learn new languages. This book is very interesting.
Visual intelligence is an intelligence where a person is good at things that require mental manipulation of physical perspectives. They are also very skilled at map reading, jigsaw puzzles, and seeing or drawing objects and situations from a different perspective. Naturalist intelligence is an intelligence where a person is a good survivor in the wild, easily notice changes in the surroundings, and is good at differentiating different animals and plants.
Interpersonal intelligence is an intelligence where a person is good at communicating with others, good at noticing shifts in others' moods and motives, and also they can take multiple perspectives on a subject.
Interpersonal intelligence is an intelligence where a person is good at understanding their own feelings and thoughts and working them to achieve their goals. They are also good at motivating themselves from the inside out without any visible or physical reward.
Musical intelligence is an intelligence which a person is good at recognizing, creating, and reproducing music, good at things with sounds, rhythm, tone, and pitch, and also people with high musical intelligence might have a high mathematical intelligence too, because these two things often involve similar thought processes. Kinesthetic intelligence is an intelligence where a person loves movements, have high body awareness and good motor skills, and they often excel in activities that involve body movements like sports and dance. They also learn best by doing things.
So this is the bar chart for the result of my multiple intelligence test. I got 80 points for visual, 73 points for logical, 57 points for musical, 57 points for interpersonal, 50 points for kinesthetic, 40 points for naturalist, 30 points for linguistic, and 30 points for interpersonal. So this is the pie chart for the result of my multiple intelligence test. My musical intelligence is 40%, my logical intelligence is 18%, my visual intelligence is 19%, my interpersonal intelligence is 14%, my kinesthetic intelligence is 12%, my naturalist intelligence is 10%, and my linguistic and interpersonal intelligence is 7%. And so this is the chart for my visual intelligence. It is my most dominant intelligence. And this is the chart for my linguistic intelligence. It is one of my least dominant intelligence. I think my most dominant intelligence is visual because I like to draw and I learn best by looking at pictures and videos. I think my least dominant intelligence is linguistic because I have a hard time talking with other people and I hate learning new languages.
This is the result that I got from my multiple intelligence test. I got 100 on logical and musical. I got 97 on naturalist, 93 on visual, 90 on linguistic, 87 on intrapersonal, 70 on interpersonal, and 67 on kinesthetic. I chart from my multiple intelligence test. I got 14% on naturalist, musical, and logical, 13% on visual and linguistic, 12% on intrapersonal, and 10% on interpersonal and kinesthetic. This is one of my most dominant multiple intelligence, and it is logical mathematical intelligence. This is also one of my most dominant multiple intelligence, and it is musical intelligence. I think my most dominant multiple intelligence is musical intelligence because I love playing instruments and also I love listening to music. I think my least dominant multiple intelligence is kinesthetic intelligence because I'm not good at sports and I don't really like physical activity.
So today we are going to interview Steve. I'm from 9A.
So the first question is, what action do you usually do when there are exams coming up?
I usually see if I am capable of taking the test without studying, then I will not study. But usually for lessons like math and physics and stuff, I should study at least a little.
Where do you usually study for exams?
In my room,
Why do you pick that place?
because my room is the most private place, the most private part of my house.
When do you usually study for exams?
The night before the exam.
Why do you pick that time of the day?
It's a lot more, I think it's relaxing and stuff.
When you're studying, do you prefer being outdoors or indoors?
Indoors. Why? Because it's hot outside and yeah.
When you're studying, do you prefer being in a silent or crowded environment?
I like being silent because it's too crowded. I cannot focus on my studies.
When you're studying, do you prefer studying alone or in a group?
I prefer studying alone
Why?
because if I study with my friends, I'll talk more than studying. Which one is easier for you, memorizing or calculating?
Memorizing.
Why?
I don't like maths. I like counting.
Which do you prefer, studying before the exam or normal planning?
Before the exam.
Do you think studying is important?
Sometimes I feel yes, sometimes I don't feel.
Why?
Because I'm a lazy person, so I just study when I want to. I don't want to study if there's no test, I don't study.
Thank you for your time.
Today I'm going to interview.
So hi, I'm Jessica Sardina and I'm in 11th grade.
The first question is, what action did you do when the national examination came up?
When the national examinations came up, of course I studied really hard back then.
When you were in the 9th grade, where did you study for the national exam?
I studied for the national exam at school, at home and also at the course.
Why did you pick that place?
I study at school because I got all the materials from school. I study at home to review all of those materials, and also I need extra lessons for me to master the national exams by going to the course.
When you were in the 9th grade, when did you study for the national exam?
I started studying for the national exams at the beginning of the 9th grade. Why? Because I needed to apply for another school for senior high. So I needed to learn it before everyone else.
When you study, what time of the day did you choose?
In the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, and also at night.
Why did you pick that time of the day?
During the morning until evenings, I study outside of my home. I study from school and I also got some lessons at my course. But At night, I study it at home. So overall, I study every time of the day.
So you study at home and in your course to review the things that you studied in your school.
Yeah, because I think it's very important for me to master it.
When you are studying for the national exam, do you prefer being outdoors or indoors?
Outdoors, because I think outdoors can give us a relaxing atmosphere.
When you are studying for the national exam, did you prefer being in a silent or crowded environment?
Of course, silent, because if it's crowded, I can focus.
When you are studying for the national exam, did you prefer studying alone or in a group?
I think 50-50. Because if alone, yeah, of course I could focus more. But if I with my friends, if I find difficulties, I could ask them.
Which one was easier for you, memory-based national exams or calculation-based national exams?
Calculation based, because you don't have to memorize it.
Which one do you prefer, studying long before the national exam day or studying the night before the national exam day?
The night before,
Why?
because I don't know, I just like it. Random.
Do you think studying is important?
Yes.
What are the reasons?
To have a good job.
I'm going to explain the history of national examination in Indonesia. National exam, or in Indonesian ujian nasional, commonly abbreviated as UNA or UNAS, is a standard evaluation system of primary and secondary education in Indonesia, and the equation of quality of education levels among the areas that are conducted by the Center of Educational Assessment, the Department of Education. The Law of the Republic of Indonesia, number 20 of 2003, states that in order to control the quality of education nationwide to be evaluated as a form of accountability of education providers to the parties concerned. Evaluation of the monitoring process is carried out continuously and continuous in the end will be able to fix the quality of education. One is said to have passed the exam when it has passed the limit value of the boundary between learners who have mastered certain competencies with learners who have not mastered certain competencies. It has been proposed to do a computerized version of national exam, with trials starting in 2015. In the same year, national exam is no longer a standard of education completion as it is stated on PP nomor 13 tahun 2015. The government policy states that education completion will depend on completing all school learning programs, obtaining at least good on attitude, aspect score, and passing the school exam. There is no cutoff score because the newest exam policy is aimed to map Indonesian students' competency in every single region in Indonesia. The data are going to be analyzed and will be used to make education improvement strategies in
To
Indonesia.
explain the changes of national exam in Indonesia. From 1950 to 1965, the examination was called Ujian Penghabisan. The Ministry of Education, Teaching and Culture made all of the tests into essay. All of them have to write manually in sheet of paper. And then from 1965 to 1971, the national exam is called Ujian Negara. The schedule and place of examination were determined by the government. From 1972 to 1979, the central government during this period arranged the direction of the national exam generally. Each school or group did independently the examination, which location and schedule has been arranged. Then, from 1980 to 2001, the name of the examination was abbreviated as EPTANAS or EPTA. The central government conducted EPTANAS, meanwhile the local government conducted EPTA. The result of the evaluation was determined from the combination of both. From 2002 to 2004, the name of The examination was called UAN, which was the abbreviation of Ujian Akhir Nasional. The standard of the passing grade was significantly changed during the year. In UAN 2002, the passing score was determined by each lesson individually. In UAN 2003, the score for each lesson should be not less than 3.01, and the minimum average score of the sum from all lessons should be 6. Meanwhile, in UAN 2004, the graduation was determined from each marked lesson. The score must not be less than 4.01, and there was no minimum average score. And there was also a remedial for the students who did not pass the exam. In 2005, the UAN changed into UN, or Ujian Nasional, with the same regulation in 2004. The passing score was raised to 4.25. The students who didn't pass UN Part 1 will join UN Part 2. Then in 2006, the minimum score is raised to 4.50. There was no remedial for the student who did not pass the exam. Then in 2007, the students who could not pass the exam could take Ujian Paket ABC. It's a special final exam with some regulation. If they would not take Paket A, B, and C, they could join the UN next year. And in 2008, the UN for senior high school regulation had been changed. The total lesson for senior high school was raised into 6 lessons, within 2 lessons before. In 2009, the standard passing grade was changed. The minimal average score should not be less than 5.5 for each lesson. And then in 2010, the minimum passing grade is 5.5 for the average score, with the minimal score is 4 for 2 lessons only, and 4.25 for other lessons. Vocational high school students had to reach 7 for the score in vocational practice. And then in 2011 and 2012, the minimum average score was still the same, but there were 5 packages for the test. The students in a class could get different packages of the test. It was aimed to reduce cheating among students.
In 2013 until 2014, the curriculum issues happened in this year. There were many pros and cons of changing curriculum in K13 or curriculum 2013. There was also an issue that UN will be removed. However, UN still exists until now. In 2015 until now, the government has developed UN system CBT or computer-based test. It is not all schools that could apply this system because the facilitation doesn't support this system. So they still do UN by PBT or paper-based tests. However, the government is on the way to improve the facilitation for the schools in Indonesia.
These are 5 study tips for visual learners.
It followed directly from his paper on special relativity that we talked about in last week's video, and here's how he did it. Suppose you're watching a cat float.
So this is where rain comes from. That's all for this video.
Thank you and God bless you.